A common rule about how all our boards work from Q to SQ, is we have what's called a green select button, and when you press that select button, you begin working on the channel that is selected. So it's gate, it's compressor, it's EQ, mic pre attributes. In the case of Avantis, because we're saving hardware and giving you better than a scribble strip across the bottom, that button is the bottom of the console. So the select button is the little block at the bottom of the screen. And when you choose a channel to work on, you're highlighting it in this bank view. And notice when I go over to the far right of the console, it is selecting separately. So you can operate the console split, where I can work on each side separate processing, or I can actually have them stitched together. So when I press the select button on one channel, I can have a compressor pop up here and a gate pop up there. That's a user's choice. I can kind of show you when we get to that half of things, but right now they're operating independently. What you see in the upper left and the upper right is your panic mode of understanding what's selected and where it's mixing. A lot of times if you're mixing on digital consoles, older generation people were freaked out by not knowing what was selected on what layer, what the heck the fader position is, sends on fader. And all Allen Heath, you actually have a visual cue at all times. So upper left, you see kick selected, that's the processing. And where is that kick drum if I mix its fader going to? It's going to the mains. Notice if I come over here, that changed to drummer. So that's always a visual cue of what's selected and where it's mixing to or from. So as I press the mix buttons on my 4 output buses. By the way, this is kind of just like a little simple club gig programming. I've got 18 inputs across 2 layers on the left side. On the right side, I've made a master section that has 4 DCAs, 3 effect turns, my mains kind of in the middle, and then 4 aux sends from front of house, serving bass, drummers, guitar, keys. So just to kind of make it easy. You can get as phenomenally pretzel bent on the programming and layout of this console as you want. I will show you how to do that shortly. In fact, it's mind-blowing. Older people didn't like Allen Heath prior to COVID. And like I said, that's when the younger generation kind of moved up because our stuff was too programmable. It's like, wait a minute, you could have a master fader right here. What? Who wants that? I want to know that my augs are here, my groups are there, DCA, brr, 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 We're aging out, You're coming up. So you press the select button, which in this case is like the scribble strip on the bottom of the screen. And I can either now tap on one of these icons to explode that individual signal process, which I will do at the very top, which brings me to the first of several tabs moving left to right. This is the direction of audio, by the way. So your parametric EQ is in front of the compressor, et cetera, and so forth. And we'll kind of look at each of these and how to run them, just as sort of a guidance training on how to work the console. This may not be news for you because you've been mixing on one for a while, but when I get into programming, maybe you'll pick up some cool stuff. It will be new for these other folks. So there are a lot of empty boxes. Why is that? Well, my source of this audio is coming from a Dante card, which is coming from that MacBook, piping in 18 tracks of a Ray Charles session. There is no mic pre-control. 48-volt phantom power is a product of the fact that that particular channel isn't plugged into a mic pre. So that's why the boxes are empty. If you go down to layer E and then tap the first input there, you will notice a couple things. Your gain just popped up. I've got scene recall. I can exempt that individual channel. I can activate a pad. I can activate phantom power, but you got to press and hold it for a second. And by the way, small feature, starting about 8 or so years ago, all Allen Heath digital consoles duck the audio while phantom power volts up. So no more or pops. And we've all done that. Not as beginners, you forget. Okay, somebody plugged in an 87, phantom power. But you do have to press and hold it for about a second so you mean it.